Standby.
What is up, YouTube? This is Nanashi with a brand new deck profile video. This time I'll be going back and showing you the changes and updates to my Fire deck, which has now been changed over into a pretty much nothing but Fire King and Coach deck. Especially since we finally just got a new Fire King monster out of the latest set, Circuit Break. And this monster adds something to this deck that it has been severely lacking and sorely needing. So let's see where this goes. Starting off with the monster lineup, we have a playset of Fire King Avatar Garunix. If a face-up Fire King monster you control is destroyed, almost all the Fire King monsters have the ability to special summon themselves from your hand. This one says that if a Fire King monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, except during the damage death, you can special summon it from your hand, and if it's destroyed in battle, or by card effect, then you can special summon any Fire King Avatar monster from your deck. There's also 3 Coach Soldier Wolf Bark. Once per turn, you get to target a Fire Beast Warrior level 4 in your graveyard and special summon it in defense mode with its abilities negated. Kinda sucks that its effects are negated, but honestly, I'm fine with it, because I just use it for Xyz material anyways. Triple Fire King Avatar Arvada. Honestly, I wish they left its name Ganesha, but I'm not going to complain about it too much. While it's face up on the field, once per turn, you have the ability to negate an opponent's monster effect by destroying a fire card in your hand or on your field, which ignites a lot of the effects in this deck. And if it itself happens to be destroyed, then you get to special summon any Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast from your graveyard with its effects negated, and then it self-destructs at the end phase. Fire King Avatar Barong. It can special summon itself from your hand to your field when a face-up Fire King monster you control is destroyed by a card effect. During the next standby phase after it was destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you get to add any Fire King card from your deck to your hand. So it's a delayed searcher, but it's honestly one of their best searchers. Fire King Avatar Yaksha. If a Fire King monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon it from your hand. And if it were to be destroyed, then you can destroy any fire card on your field or in your hand. So it does ignite a bunch of combos, not just for your field, but also your hand advantage. I mainly just use it as a counterpart for Wolfbark, but it does have playability. Fire King High Avatar Garunix, your boss monster of this main deck. If it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, then during the next standby phase, you get to special summon it, and if you do, destroy all other monsters on the field. In addition, if it were to be destroyed by battle, you can special summon a Fire King Avatar monster from your deck. And a tag card I've been testing out for this deck for a while that seems to be doing a lot of good. Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. If it's destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, then during your next standby phase, not the next standby phase, you get to special summon it from the graveyard, and if you do, destroy all spell traps on the field. Next up, we move into the spell cards, starting with a pair of Circle of the Fire Kings. You target a fire monster on your field and a fire monster in your graveyard, destroy the first target, then special summon the second. Next up is a pair of Fire Formation YuGiOh, my replacement for MST in this deck. You target a set spell trap your opponent controls, and as long as this card's face up, your opponent cannot activate that card, nor can they activate it in response to this card's activation. Since more often than not you're going to be hitting counter traps, this card is a lot more valuable than people realize. Fire Formation Tenki, adding any level 4 or lower Beast Warrior type monster from your deck to your hand. In addition, both of the Fire Formation spells have a shared effect of giving all Beast Warrior monsters you control an additional 100 attack points, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in practice, it actually does make enough of a difference to be noticeable. Triple Fire King Island. If this card on the field is removed from the field by being destroyed, you destroy all monsters you control. But you get to activate one of 2 really good effects during your turn. You can either special summon a Winged Beast monster from your hand, or you can destroy a monster in your hand or that you control, and search out any Fire King monster from your deck to your hand. Onslaught of the Fire Kings. If your opponent controls a monster and you don't, you get to special summon any Fire Beast, Winged Beast, or Beast Warrior from your deck, but it self-destructs at the end of the turn. Again, just more destruction combos. Rekindling. Arguably the best spell you could possibly run in this deck. This special summons as many fire monsters as possible from your graveyard who have 200 defense points, but they're all banished during the end phase. And double terraforming, adding any field spell from deck to hand. And then we have the trap cards. Single bottomless trap hole, stable in all my decks. A pair of Jar of Avarice, adding any 5 cards from your graveyard except a copy of itself back to the deck to draw 1 card. This deck burns through a lot of its resource through its multiple destruction combos, especially if you count in the fact that Nephthys can blow up your spell traps, so this card is definitely necessary at certain points in the game. Solemn Warning, stable in everyone's deck. And Transmigration Prophecy, mainly to return the Jars of Avarice back to the deck, but it does return the cards from your opponent's grave back to the deck as well. Next we move into the side deck. Starting with a playset of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Boar. I know I said I took out the Fire Fist cards, but I decided to keep this in here because there is one monster in the extra deck that it can help me access that's going to help be a bit of a problem solver in the near future. It's a 4-star tuner, and honestly that's all I really care about when it comes to this card. It can only be used for the single summon of a fire monster, which obviously does not matter. If it's destroyed and sent to the grave, I can special summon a different Fire Fist monster from my deck, but I don't run any, so that's kind of a moot point. And when a Fire Fist monster is special summoned from your extra deck, I can set a Fire Formation spell directly from my deck. So it's not like it's completely useless, it's just right now I don't really have too many components to run alongside it. Also a Brain Control. Third Circle of the Fire Kings. Dark Hole, and I'm running it in the side because I already have 3 monsters that do the exact same thing as Dark Hole, so it's kind of pointless. Double Fire Formation Tenki. It gives me an additional normal summon of a Beast Warrior monster, which is actually useful, but as of right now, I don't really need to normal summon them too often, I just need to special summon them from my hand inherently. Double MST in case I change my mind about the Fire Formation spells. Blazing Mirror Force over regular Mirror Force. It does normal Mirror Force things, like destroying all attack position monsters the opponent controls, but it also deals damage to both players equal to their combined attack points. Compulsory. Double Fiendish Chain. And Torrential Tribute, for the same reason as Dark Hole. And now we finish up with my little extra deck. First up is a pair of Crimson Blader. This is the problem-solving synchro that I was mentioning that I'm going to be using in tandem with Boar. If it destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to grave, your opponent cannot normal or special summon level 5 or higher monsters during their next turn. Obviously this cripples a lot of decks that rely on synchros, but to be perfectly honest, this is mainly just in here because I saw what Jack Knights can do, and I am not looking forward to that archetype next set. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Lion Emperor. I don't summon it too often because it requires 2 level 3 fires, but you can detach a material from it and add any fire monster from your graveyard back to your hand. You can't use it that turn, but that's perfectly fine. Triple Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. When it's summoned, you set a Fire Formation spell trap from your deck, which is awesome. You can attach a material and negate the effects of all face-up monsters on the field except Beast Warriors until your opponent's next end phase, which has definitely come in handy. And if it's destroyed while you happen to have 3 Fire Formation spell traps face up, you can send all 3 of them to the graveyard and special summon 2 new monsters from your deck whose attack are the same, but in defense mode. A pair of Crooked Cook. If you have no other cards on your side of the field, it's immune to all other card effects. And once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach a material, destroy as many cards on your side of the field as possible, and then for every monster it destroyed, it gains 300 attack until the end phase. And Coach King Giant Trainer. You can detach a material from it up to 3 times in the same turn, draw a card, and if it's a monster, you burn your opponent for 800 damage. But anytime you use even one of these, you do not get a battle phase that turn. And that's the deck. I've been messing with this deck and trying to put it in a reasonably decent playable fashion for a very long time. And Fire King Avatar Arvada, the newest monster, definitely makes this deck a lot better than it used to be. It just kind of sucks that I bought an entire box of Circuit Break and only pulled 1 copy of this, so I had to order the rest separately. And no, I don't tend to buy boxes very often. This was a special occasion because there were a ton of cards I actually wanted out of that set. Still, once I get those copies of the card, this deck will be not only playable, but arguably good against most of the people that I play against. especially the ones that tend to abuse their hand trap effects. I thank you guys for watching this deck profile, and if you can think of any way I can improve this all-fire deck, feel free to let me know. But in the meantime, this has been Nanashi, signing out.
What's the next stage? What's the next stage?